I chose to write Microtheme 1 over my hometown of Waco, Texas. I wanted to highlight the main reason for the contestation of the land involving crime rates, then how the crime rates have become so incredibly high. The contestation of Waco lies in the way different demographics of the town intermingle. Loop 340, the unofficial border between high crime rates and nonviolent land, is a crucial landmark in the differences of people and how their daily lives occur. I come from a sheltered, middle-class, mostly white, no-crime kind of town outside the loop of Waco. This type of town was great to grow up in because it was more forgiving than the harsh inner-city life. The people in my town often hung out with people also on the outside of the loop in towns such as China Spring and Robinson, which also have very similar demographics. Boys dated girls from similar towns outside of the loop, while kids from inside the loop typically only dated and hung out with others from inside the loop. As far as I can remember, there has always been this across-the-tracks hysteria that has plagued the entire population of Waco. I grew up on the outer ring of Waco and always believed Waco to be a place of law-abiding citizens, good people, clean fun, and an all-around great place to live. According to Neighborhood Scout, a national city ranking data system, Waco is in the 95th percentile of America as the most dangerous city to live in. Statistically, a normal person within the city limits of Waco is bound to experience a violent crime 1% of the time in a given year. Though 1% doesn't seem like much, it really is. Think of it this way. Most people have never even come close to being robbed, raped, or beaten by another civilian in their entire lifetime. Have you? Well, living in Waco, you would be prone to experiencing a violent crime for 8 hours of the whole year. You never know when those 8 hours will call your name. All these years, I was horribly wrong. Waco is amongst the highest of crime rates and ranks up there with the Bronx and inner-city Houston. Waco even outranks Dallas in the highest crime rate. I had been fooled by the shelter life that I had grown up in and loved so much. After much research, I found that the violence and rings of violence started to become more prominent after the ATF Branch Davidian raid in 1993. The ATF is the Federal Organization of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. The siege lasted 51 days and landmarked Waco as a place where drug runners, prostitutes, murderers, thieves, and rapists could reside without the long arm of the law taking control of their illegal goods, whatever that may be. The Branch Davidians were a Jewish cult organization consisting of 82 polygamous members, not including their leader, David Koresh. Not only were they polygamous, which is federally regulated and illegal, they were seen as terrorists to the ATF, FBI, and the Texas National Guard. Their warehouses and shelters were raided in an attempt to arrest all of its members for polygamy, bigotry, and terrorism. In the first attempt to deliver a search warrant granted by the county, the Davidians revolted and opened fire on the ATF soldiers that were issuing the warrant. After the first attempt to issue the warrant, the government forces entered a standoff, eventually having the Davidians commit mass suicide. The Davidian inhabitants were gassed and many were shot. Most of them were killed by people within the cult organization, but a few of them were killed by gunshots from the ATF and FBI. Though the casualty count was not of war caliber, one could consider it a massive battle. While it was never and will never be clear as to what exactly David Koresh and his cult following were planning to do, FBI reports state that the massive stockpiling of firearms and explosives that were gathered by the cult was perceived to be an upcoming attempt at destroying the Lake Waco Dam, thus killing or putting in distress millions of people down in the Brazos Valley. The raid aided the oncoming of rising crime rates because evildoers saw this as a breach in the Waco law enforcement. Many thought they could, like the Davidians, have the opportunity to spread their metaphoric crime wings and fly into the black market success. With the increasing crime in Waco since the Davidians came to fruition, those that could move out of the city and avoid crime did. Those that could not or chose not to move out of the city dealt with the crime and its colorful inner workings. As one can infer, the demographics over time have changed so much that one could say that Loop 340 is a clear distinguishing line between both demographics, a black and white comparison, if you will.